Yo, welcome back, horror fans. Welcome back to Horror Edge Insights. I'll be your little woke, Kooll OneHunnit, and today we are diving deep into a horror anthology that mixes supernatural chills with real life issues. You heard me? By that, I'm talking about 1995's Tale from the Hood. Now, if you've never seen this 1995 cult classic, get ready for a ride that's as thought-provoking as it is terrifying. You dig? Now, before we get into it, I'm going to give you a minute to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let everybody know that Horror Edge Insights and your little Kooll OneHunnit is, in fact, reviewing Tales from the Hood, the 1995 cult classic. You dig? Now that all that's been said, let's break it down. Alright, now horror fans, straight off the rip, Tales from the Hood is an anthology horror film directed by Rusty Cundiff, produced by Spike Lee, and set in the inner city, you dig? Now, this movie delivers 4 chilling stories, each framed by a funeral director telling these tales from the hood to 3 young men looking for drugs. But don't be fooled, because there's more going on than meets the eye, you dig? Alright, horror fans, now the first story, entitled Rogue Cop Revolution, hits hard with a tale of police corruption and revenge from beyond the grave, you dig? Now this story is an intense and a very relevant story, even decades later. Then we've got Boys Do Get Bruised, which shifts gears to supernatural takes on domestic abuse. Now this story centers around a boy who is tormented by a monster, and this one is packed with psychological horror, it's eerie, emotional, and it gives you a look into the trauma that many kids face. Now, the next one is my all-time favorite because this dude got his comeuppance like a mug. And coincidentally, this segment is called KKK Comeuppance. Now, this story is about a racist politician who moves into a plantation house that is haunted by the spirits of enslaved people for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now, the story delivers a supernatural reckoning for his action and hateful ideology on black people, slaves, and minorities in general. Now, I liked this one because he got his comeuppance in the best way possible. If you didn't see it, you had to see it. His comeuppance was mysterious, and whoever would have had to investigate his demise would have had a puzzle of a time trying to figure out what happened to him. Minus him, falling down the stairs or whatever happened to him. But KKK comeuppance was good, and I really felt good about that story. And finally, we got my other favorite. It's called Hardcore Convert. Now, this story is a brutal and mind-bending story about a gang member forced to confront his violent past in a horrifying rehabilitation program. Now, this story dives deep into the psychological horrors of inner city violence, you dig? Now, horror fans, beyond the scares, what sets Tales from the Hood apart is how it tackles serious social issues head on. It's not just about jump scares and gore. Each story is a reflection of real-world problems like institutional racism, police brutality, and gang violence. Also, this film uses the horror genre as a lens to examine the horrors of everyday life in urban communities. Not horror fans at its core, Tales from the Hood shows the real horror isn't always supernatural. Real horror can often be rooted in societal injustices. That's what makes this movie both impactful and timeless. Now, horror fans, for those that missed out on this one-of-a-kind, groundbreaking film, 1995's Tales from the Hood, I'll let you know what you missed, you dig? Here we go. Alright, so like I said earlier, the 1995 film Tales from the Hood is a horror anthology directed by Rustin Cundiff and executive produced by Spike Lee. Now, this film is a unique blend on horror, social commentary, and satire, addressing issues of racism, police brutality, domestic violence, and systematic justice. You dig? So the movie starts with three gang members who visit a funeral home to collect a stash of drugs promised by the eccentric mortician, the late great Mr. Sims, played by the late great Clarence Williams III. You heard me? Now, y'all, as Mr. Sims guides them through the funeral home, he shares stories tied to the deceased, which becomes the individual segments of the film. Now, horror fans, the first story Mr. Sims said with the three dudes is the story entitled Rogue Cop Revolution. Now, this story is focused on a black activist who is murdered by corrupt police officers. Now, his ghost returns to exact revenge on those responsible, also confronting themes of police brutality and racial violence. You dig? It was a good, zombie type story. I personally enjoyed it, and it was a good opening to the whole film. So yes, I love the Road Cop Revelations. Now, the second story that Mr. Sims tells dudes as they open the casket and see whatever they see is entitled Boys Do Get Bruised. Now, this segment explores child abuse. Now, the story follows a young boy who believes a monster is hurting him. Now, the story reveals the monster to be his abusive stepfather, with the boy using his imagination to take control of his situation. And I also gotta say I liked that story too. It wasn't too brutal as some people would have made it, considering it was child abuse, so I thought it was appropriate for the time. So I liked Boys Do Get Bruised. Now, the next one is my all-time favorite because this dude got his comeuppance like a mug. And coincidentally, this segment is called KKK Comeuppance. Now, this story is about a racist politician who moves into a plantation house that is haunted by the spirits of enslaved people for hundreds and hundreds of years. Now, the story delivers a supernatural reckoning for his action and hateful ideology on black people, slaves, and minorities in general. Now, I liked this one because he got his comeuppance in the best way possible. If you didn't see it, you had to see it. His comeuppance was mysterious, and whoever would have had to investigate his demise would have had a puzzle of a time trying to figure out what happened to him. Minus him, falling down the stairs or whatever happened to him. But KKK comeuppance was good, and I really felt good about that story. Now, the last story was another personal favorite of mine, played by the late, great Lamont Bentley. If you don't know who that was the guy who played Moesha's best friend, Hakeem. He also played in the MC Hammer story, Too Legit to Quit, as Tupac. This title is called Hardcore Convert. Now, this tale follows a gang member called Crazy K who is in prison and subjected to an experimental rehabilitation program. Now, the program forces Crazy K to confront the consciousness of his violent lifestyle, offering a bitter critique of gang culture and systematic failures in addressing it. Also, that was just meaning how Crazy K was forced with his past of all his wrongdoings in society. Now, I found it interesting that if he would have just redeemed himself and repented for all his sins, I believe he would have had a second chance at life. But because he was so earthly and angry at the world, he basically, for lack of better words, fucked himself out of life. And the ending resulted in him ultimately perishing and succumbing to his gunshot wounds, which I wish he wouldn't have done. Now, horror fans, the framing narrative culminates in a chilling twist where the gang members discover that they are not in a funeral home, but they are in fact in hell. Now, Mr. Sims revealed his true nature as the devil himself, and their sins lead to eternal damnation, y'all. Now, horror fam, this film is celebrated for its blend of horror and sharp social critique, using the genre to tackle serious issues in a thought-provoking and entertaining way. I gotta say, it has since become a cult classic in my eyes. Now, y'all, the performances in this films were outstanding. Clarence Williams III as Mr. Sims, the creepy funeral director, he stole the whole show. Now, he's unsettling and adds an eerie atmosphere to the entire film anytime he's in the shot. Also, you've got powerful performers across the board, especially from actors like David Allegria and Corbin Burnson, and especially the direction by Rusty Cundiff, which is sharp and balancing the horror and humor seamlessly, you dig? Now, each segment has its own style, but they all tie together with the overreaching theme of justice and morality, which I could really appreciate. Now, horror fans, when it was released in 1995, Tales from the Hood was a groundbreaking movie that gave a voice to the underrepresented communities in horror. It stood out not just because it was scary, but because it had something important to say. Now, over the years, it's become a cult classic in today's climate, and it actually still feels more relevant than ever. Now, Tales from the Hood is a rare film, and rare for a horror film at that, to age the way that it did, which is very, very well. But Tales from the Hood proves that when horror is mixed with sharp social commentary, it becomes timeless. Whether it's the revenge against corrupt cops or the twisted justice dealt to racists, the movie just simply packs a punch like no other. Now, for anybody who wants to know, Tales from the Hood isn't your typical horror movie. It's bold, it's clever, and it tackles tough issues in ways that are still deeply unsettling. Now, it's a must-watch for fans of social consciousness and social conscious horror. And it also proves that the genre can be more than just jump scares. Now, if you haven't seen 1995's Tales from the Hood, or it's been a while since you've seen 1995 Tales from the Hood. Now is the perfect time to revisit this classic. It ain't always got to be in October, or it ain't always got to be just for Halloween or the spooky season, you heard me? I think Tales from the Hood is relevant all year round. Now, I'm sure everybody knows I did not rate 1995's Tales from the Hood. And you're probably wondering why. And it's because 1995 Tales from the Hood by Dusty Kunde and Spike Lee already rated it for you. It's a perfectly, well, would this be considered rating it? I would just say they made a perfectly 10 out of 10 movie from 1995 even until 2025. And if that's not perfectly rated, I don't know what else to tell you. So I didn't have to rate it. All you gotta do is go watch it and you can rate it yourself, y'all. Now, with all that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, especially to my horror fans. And all my Urban Edge Insights fans, we'll be back on the train, you dig? I'm just trying to find a perfect Urban Edge Insight movie to do. And for everybody who like comedic Edge Insights, that like funny movies, I'm going to get to y'all too. But like I said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, especially my Horror Edge Insights fans. And if you like this review, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into horror hidden gems, you dig? And also let me know in the comments, what's your favorite story from Tales from the Hood and why? But in the meantime, until the between time, y'all stay spooky, y'all stay real, and y'all subscribe to this channel, YLW Kooll OneHunnit. If you haven't, I produce Urban Edge Insights, Horror Edge Insights, Comedic Edge Insights, and I'm starting to think about doing Romantic Edge Insights, you dig? So you just let me know what y'all want to see. I'm trying to cover all bases, but for today, I gave y'all Tales from the Hood 1995, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. But until then, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, make sure your notification bell is on so you'll know which insight category I'm giving you. And please comment inside my comment description because I enjoy conversing with like-minded people, even if you're not like-minded people. I just love the interaction. So comment down below, share with everybody who love what I do. And I do appreciate everybody, love each and every one of y'all. And until next time, like I always say, it'll be Kooll OneHunnit. And this was Horror Edge Insights. And I'll see y'all on my next video, you did? Kooll OneHunnit, and I'm out this thing.